It's Hoggy! And welcome to Alone, the podcast where we always live outside normal expectations. And this is Hoggy Thoughts, because I just want to talk to y'all. I feel some kind of way, man. All this shit in the news, man, I fucking hate guns, man. I really do. Because, man, it's getting out of hand, man. That shit in Texas, the shooting in Texas where 21 died, 19 students, two teachers, like, they said this motherfucker was posting it before he did it. Man, that shit, it hurts, man. My prayers and condolences go out to everybody. Because there's so many people affected. Even the people watching it. It's traumatizing to see that so many people go through this. And I got to send my son to school every day. Every day that school is, I'm sending my son to school praying that none of this stuff happened where I live. Well, I'm an 80s baby. I come from needs. You know what I'm saying? I come from needs. So, like, it boggles my mind, the gunplay thing, like. And then it just seems like it's widespread, and you can try to blame everything: music, games, media, movies, society, community. You know what I mean? Police. I mean, you can blame so many people because we done got out of hand, man. It done got out of hand. Like, okay, so I'm reading about the dude in Texas, and we're talking about it at work and stuff like that, and the motherfucker shot his own grandma. I couldn't imagine. Like, this nigga said, I'm gonna shoot my grandma, and then posted right afterwards saying I shot my grandma. And then said, I'm about to find an elementary school. Like, what goes through these motherfuckers' mind? Like, is it a hell bent on being infamous? Is it like, because even the a guy from lived across the street said he didn't notice him being like mistreated or being bullied or something like that. Like, so it's kind of weird that he would go off like this. And I know we're going to get into the mental health thing and stuff like that. I understand that. But, man, we as a society got to start taking responsibility for the things we kind of just let happen. And I know everybody kind of like, oh, we all just trying to survive. But shit, they say it takes a village. So what happened to the village? What happened to it? You know what I mean? You got the racial shooting in Buffalo. And I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I'm 36. I'm like, how are we still here? Every day, we still hearing about all this racism and discrimination. Like, how? When the world is already as hard as what it is, we should be trying to find a way to work together. Trying to find a way to come together as a community so we can better ourselves. You know what I mean? And they just passed a law not too long ago for Ohio for the you don't need to have the little card or whatever, the CCW. You can just go get a gun as long as you got the right credentials on your record. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Now it's made it easier to get guns. And what's crazy about it, like, I almost understand it because it's so many guns already out here and all this shit happening. I mean, everybody down there got to strap up. That's how everybody feeling. Everybody I talk to, even people that never had guns, are getting guns and going to shooting ranges and really like talking about like, you come in here, I'm bodying you. Like, wow, damn, we so far away from being a unit that we can only think of killing first. We can't even think of like a different means of diffusing the altercation. Like, it can't come, like, fisticuffs ain't the same no more. Like, niggas getting out there, it ain't the same. The way like people grow up bullying and stuff like that, it's different now. Like, okay, so it was a fight in Akron, and during the fight, somebody pulled out a gun and shot another guy. And these was kids, matter of fact. These was 15 teenagers and shit. 15-year-old shot, chest, dead, in a fight, in a scuffle. But it's different nowadays than when I was a kid scuffling out there hitting with niggas. You know what I mean? Because shit, nowadays they got social media, so like you can't like live it down. Back in the day, you take an L, really the only people who knew about it is the people who saw you take the L. So if you was the type, I ain't the type, but if you was the type to go out there and be like, oh, you got a couple lumps, like, oh nigga, but I got mine in and I end up getting the win. Like you can spin that off to people who don't know. You know what I mean? Now it's everywhere. People who don't even care know now. The people that never would have knew who you were can see you in the store like, damn, that's that nigga got his ass knocked the fuck out. I'm talking about looking goofy sleep. Like what? Like so it's like it's hard for this generation to let shit down. It's like, no, I gotta get my get back. And then people gotta see me get my get back. Man, I've always been against the kind of gun thing, even back in the day. Like, I had a temper growing up, and I knew consciously, like, if I had a gun, I probably would have been shot somebody just out of anger. Because I've been in situations where I've been extremely mad, I can see where emotions can take you over the edge. So I just never wanted to put myself in that position. I'd rather put my hands on you in the first place. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. Now I'm even thinking about now of not only strapping up, but teaching my boys how to strap up, gun safety. I've been looking into it and stuff like that because shit, it's about protecting your home. But shit, I'm thinking more like we need to educate each other all around and protect the community. Like, it just, man, my heart is broken for real that we still are going through this. Like, we still going through, like, the tragedies. And, like we could say, like, oh, the government blame this and that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at some point, you gotta, we as parents, as leaders of the community, got to look at ourselves and say, what can we do to at least try to touch at least one? Most people are like, you know what I'm saying? When I talk to people, they're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't try to talk to the young kids. They don't be listening. So what? Because it's one person that's listening, and it's that other person that you done planted the seed and gonna catch it later. Man, I'm always talking. My kids probably say, you tell these motherfuckers, my dad talk too much. He always talking. He always got something to say. Everything a lesson. But I didn't get these lessons. And if I would have, I can almost honestly say, like, I'd have been at least more mentally prepared for the things that I did have to end up dealing with. You know what I mean? And I would have been able to maneuver myself a lot better. So, like, social media really got the game, like, hyped up. Like, when they say it's up, it's up. Like, because it's, people can be as gangsters they want to be. They can be as brash. And you don't know what to take serious or not. So many people on there just do it for attention. It's hard to kind of, like, pick out the ones that say, oh, that motherfucker's serious. It's hard to pick out the ones that say, like, yeah, let me put a whole bunch of energy into this one, and then somebody really out there doing, you know what I'm saying, doing what they saying they gonna do. You know what I mean? So it's hard to kind of pick and choose, and it's not enough of us to kind of check everything. You know what I mean? And like I was reading, and back to the Texas shooting, the man was saying a guy pulled up. He pulled up to the motherfucking school, telling them like his child was in there, telling them like go in there, like y'all just standing here. This nigga in one classroom is one of him, like 30 of y'all, like you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. One of the officers, his kid was in there too, so I knew it was probably hard for him, but like the man had mentioned like, oh, they were underprepared and undertrained. How? This ain't first, second, third, fourth, fifth motherfucking time this happened. This I can't even count them at this point. You know what I mean? So like, when are we gonna start preparing the response units for this? Like everywhere, because it ain't like a poor or rich neighborhood type of thing. These mass shootings, these racial shootings, it's not a poor rich. It's motivated by different things. It's like racially motivated. Yeah, it's more of a area or demographic type of thing, but these mass shootings, no, no. There's so many different things that people are finding to be mad at the world about. And why are we so mad at the world? Because what? They didn't hear us? They didn't respect our view or our value? And I ask everybody, why is what they feel about you determine how you feel about you? You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell myself that because I grew up a lot listening to other people and kind of and letting that mindset of what they put into me be my mindset. But they're not me. Their happiness is not my happiness. You know what I mean? But man, so like when I think about it, like if I was an officer, like I've had this conversation with people years ago when it was a big talk about police shooters was around, and I was saying like if I was an officer, I have a vest on, I got all this stuff on, and I've been trained, and I know the risk, at least 95% of the risk that I'm gonna come into. So I will be more likely to try to shoot a person. They say shoot for the largest part of the body, which is the torso, is the biggest mass area. But I'm saying I'm a trained shooter. I practice, so I'm going for legs. But they say, well, if he shoot, you're gonna be dead. I'm like, well, what's the chances of an untrained teenager just like killing me? Like just getting a headshot off the rip. If that happened, it was my time to go. But I'm not about to openly just aim to take this kid's life or this person's life. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what this person got, what got this person to this situation. Everybody want to look at the situation and deem that person evil, but you don't know what got them there. And a lot of times it is some kind of bullshit or not something that's acceptable for what they end up doing. You know what I mean? But I just feel like if I was an officer, I would be more inclined to put myself in danger. And it is some out there that really like will have talked a gunman down before shooting them. You know what I mean? Or got the gun from a person before resorting to deadly force and stuff like that. So this is not to everybody, but it's to the ones that kind of like. I mean, you might as well be a thug. Because you like, shoot, as soon as I feel like something wrong with me, I'm bodying you. That's exactly how most of the motherfuckers out here at work, out in the streets, at the stores talk. Like, shit, as soon as I see you, I'm bodying a nigga. Oh, we ain't fighting out here. You know, I'm bodying a nigga. Like, what? That's why I hate guns. It have a false sense of strength. Like, you walking out with your chest up, like you actually did something because you got something that'll do the work, do the job for you. I don't respect that. I don't. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I used to do it as a kid, but as I got older, I changed how I viewed that, like playing Madden back in the day. Taking the rookie, put the motherfucker rookie, take all the sliders, put them down, whoop their ass. Ain't no glory in that. Ain't no glory in doing something the absolute way instead of going through the battle. And I'm learning now that all dreams, all great things go through turmoil. You're going to have to go through the battle. The bigger the dream, the bigger the battle. You know what I'm saying? So, like, guns, I thought about this a long time ago. Guns has got people just pumped up, like, really pumped up. Like, I go to the gym, not because of beef or nothing like that, just because I want to live forever. Shit, fuck it. I want to live forever. I want to be here well as long as I possibly can, so I try to eat better. Um, and I exercise. I'm there every day, going tough. But I don't, like, I'm always like, it's to the point that, like, motherfucker can say, like, some shit slick, and I'm kind of like, shit, I don't know what type of nigga you is. Go ahead, you got it, bro. It's all you, bro. Because if we gotta go there, I know you gonna be quick to kill me before I'm quick to kill you, because I'm not that type of person. If we got a disagreement, we can talk it out. If we got to go further that, the furthest I'm trying to go is fisticuffs. And I'm willing to do that with anybody. Because I'm not afraid to take that L. It's a life lesson. You know what I mean? Shit. Not everybody wins everything, bro. Floyd Mayweather done took an L. He may not have took a professional L, but that nigga done took an L. Nigga, that's how you become a great fighter by taking L's. By the time he got to the professionals, he had took the lessons he needed to and kept getting better and better. But best believe everybody done took L's. You may not have seen it. You may have seen 30, 40 fights and not seen an L, but that nigga done took an L. So like we got so it's with social media and nowadays, man, it's people scared to take them L's because it's all over the place. Like you have daughters, you try to tell them, motherfuckers, watch what you do, because you send them news out. They can be on the internet. You ain't tell our sons like you get your ass knocked out. You gonna be on the internet. We had to find out the hard way after seeing them niggas on the internet. Like, damn. You know what I mean? And then you get to see yourself get knocked out. That can't be like I ain't been in that situation, but that can't be like good for your soul. Like to see yourself get knocked out. You gotta be a strong person, like a boxer. Like you gotta be strong to like watch yourself get knocked out and be like, fuck it, I'm getting back in there. That wasn't shit. I mean, I probably could do it. I ain't never boxed or I just fought, man, from the streets. See, I ain't never been knocked out, like put to sleep. No, I done took my L's. Yeah, I ain't never been put to sleep though. But man, I wish we all could come up with a way that we can start teaching the generations how to be stronger within themselves. You know what I mean? To not need like the accolades of everybody else to validate them. We need to figure out a way to teach our youth and our adults how to communicate, how to talk. Man, that's the biggest thing. They want to talk about mental health. Yeah, it's a big thing with that, but a lot of these mental health are brewed beyond the lack of communication. So we need to teach, especially as men, need to learn how to talk, how to get our voice out there about how we feel and not feel like we're being attacked. And I don't think we're being attacked. That they people have their own opinions, and if I'm around a person that their opinion is causing me pain, then I have to separate myself from them. But we do have to start being able to talk about our emotions. Because it seems like we're talking about it, but we're not validating it. So it's kind of like we're just bringing it up. We're just bringing it up. But see, I talk to my kids all the time, all the time. You know what I mean? About believing who you are, being who you are. Don't be so wrapped up in opinions. Don't be so wrapped up in how you think other people will take it. Understand, because at the end of the day, it's your smiles that matter. It's your happiness. You know what I mean? It may sound selfish because you still, when I say your happiness, what you do should not affect the people around you negatively. But you can't allow what you do, their negativity, to affect your positive and growth. You understand? So we need to learn to talk. We need to communicate. That's why I'm doing this. I'm about to start having more people on here so we can talk. I want to talk about all the little things in our mindsets that kind of fuck with us, like earwigs that kind of bother us, that we can't kind of get over the edge and get. And confidence and self-assurance and self-esteem, it seems to be the one thing that seems to be lacking more. Although people seem confidence, yeah, because of what they put on social media, things that they do. But man, it's so much attention grabbing. It's so much like flash, like, oh, look at me, spotlight me, that it's an insecurity behind it. You know what I mean? But we need to just get to the bottom of talking, teaching our youth, teaching our young men how to talk, how to communicate your emotions effectively. Because I feel like once people can learn how to get their shit out, man, we'll be able to deal with the things that come with us a lot better, man. My prayers and condolences go out to everybody affected, everybody in the nation. Because, matter of fact, we all affected. So I love y'all. Thank you for tuning to Alone. Hockey! Always live outside normal expectations.